Hello and welcome to Chopped Greens, the long-awaited return.
It's been a week. I hope you guys are still alive.
Still alive. So we started out, we ended last week on saying which ones we might do. We finally settled on Kong, Skull Island.
Skull Island, the next one.
All right, give me your best monkey growl. That's actually pretty good.
I did my research.
Yes, you did.
You got to give me one now.
I don't know if I can do the growl. I know I got the...
Hey. Ooh.
That's kind of football player, though.
Feel the walls shaking here?
This is my kingdom. All right. So, let's move on to the storyline of Kong Skull Island.
Can you call it that?
I don't think you can.
It's a chopped green storyline. I'd say. That's for sure.
I thought it was just generally. We'll just go kind of generally work our way in. I thought it was a little weak. That's being too kind. It was just an excuse of a storyline.
Yes.
I thought that there were some very detailed points. Like I thought when they were dropping the bombs. And for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, we did a lot of spoilers last week, but still spoiler alert.
Be prepared
here. I think that there were some very detailed thoughts that may be plausible, which I think in any of these you kind of really have to distance yourself.
I mean, everything technically made sense, but it just wasn't compelling, and I really didn't care. Just a weak script.
Excellent point. Compelling, I think, is what really didn't drive home this movie. Mm-hmm. I think that outside of a couple actors' parts, which we'll get into later. Yeah. I think there wasn't really a whole lot of connectivity in this movie. I don't think that anybody could really feel that they cared one way or another if a character was going to die off, if a character was going to live. And that's where in any movie, whether it be an action movie or not, that's where the real lifeblood of a movie is if you care. And I found myself too often in this movie just shrugging it off.
Yeah, I mean, they built up a lot of characters and gave them these objectively really cool monster movie deaths, but they really didn't ring clear because I was like, okay, I don't even remember who that guy is. You know, they were killing off characters left and right, and they had these really emotional storylines that were honestly just hollow.
I thought also that it was often a parody unto itself. Like it's almost like Scream in that sense, where it was self-aware that it was a little bit corny.
You get the sense that it's almost satire, but not good satire.
But the point is that in those moments when it was self-aware, I actually did enjoy it.
Really?
I thought that it was like, okay, this is appropriate. And most of those, again, come from a performance, but I think when it tried to be serious, it just didn't hit home. It didn't go all the way through with the swing of the bat. It went a little too light on it. And it without seriousness, garnered no urgency.
Yeah. And I mean, urgency, because the script and the pacing is fast, but there's not actually a sense of urgency. It just feels rushed. And these characters, they have these, generic archetypal lines, and the dialogue is just straight cheese. It's terrible. And they set up, and it's like, once the lights go down and you take off the 3D glasses, don't really feel anything,
See, now, for anybody in the audience, this is the little behind baseball. We didn't see this movie together. I was in Universal Studios, and I saw it on a side friend trip. And you saw it with your
3D,
girlfriend.
yes.
And in 3D, that's what I was trying to get to. You saw it in 3D? Now, I didn't see it in 3D, and it still sucked, but you...
I mean, visually, the film is awesome. There's nothing super... there's no crazy 3D effects that they add, and they're like... Kong's hand flying out of the screen. Oh my god! It's just.
I actually do hate that. Like a lot of times,
it hurts my eyes. It throws me off.
The only one that tastefully did that was Avatar. When they
Avatar was gorgeous.
When they kind of just engrossed the room and it created an environment. I thought that was the one that it really did
This is no Avatar.
No.
It's not worth the extra $2. Just go. If you're gonna see it in theaters, just see it in maybe IMAX. Might be cool, but...
Well, let's work our way back to visually, though. Yeah. I think where it really, really takes hold is that, like you said, it was visually... I think it makes up for some of the sins of the storytelling. And that's unavoidable in a lot of ensemble movies, that you're going to have a weak script. And really, at the end of the day, it's hard to justify a lot of these scenarios where it's like, well, why is there a big monkey with a bunch of monsters,
a giant bamboo-legged spider,
correct,
sticking its legs through people's mouths, killing them? People don't go to see, at least I don't go to see these movies for, true character. It always makes it better. Side note, the best action movie to come out in the last 10 years, subjectively, to me, is Mad Max Fury Road. Great action and terrific character, so it is possible, but
it is possible.
Most of the time, I go to see movies like this, Godzilla, Pacific Rim, to see giant-ass monsters fighting each other, which it does deliver.
It does deliver in that the monsters fighting each other looks good. Visually, it doesn't look cheesy.
It is. I mean, at least it's fun to watch for your eyes the whole time. Like I was kind of like, wow, like what a testament to cool digital filmmaking. It was all digital.
And you know what? It had actually, I think it truly did achieve the setting upon which it wanted. It did have a nice early 70s feel to it. The soundtrack kind of writes itself.
Yeah.
But I thought that a lot of the times when they incorporated fire, and I felt like that was a reoccurring theme, whenever they were incorporating fire into the movie, they just did it so stunningly.
That fire evoked more emotion than a single line in that whole movie.
The two biggest examples of that I could find were when they're flying around and one of the pilots is looking, and the fire plumage can just be seen reciprocated through his glasses. That's actually a beautiful moment. I remember that specifically from the trailer, and seeing it in the film, it was totally just a moment where you're just like, wow, this is actually pretty cool.
And like you said, those were the moments that kind of went along with the whole self-aware feel, just the overblown, super stylish action. Like there was a 15-second. The best part of that movie was the 15 seconds where Tom Hiddleston was the self-aware, stylish action, where Tom Hiddleston throws on a gas mask and grabs a katana and runs through this like green mist and slices through a horde of like 30 ancient dinosaur bat things. Like it's like these little pterodactyls. I was like, I was all over. It was amazing. But it was those moments like the flames and the goggles, Kong beating up a giant lizard with the propeller, and Tom Hiddleston slicing through bats, that were like the coolest and most fun parts to watch.
And ironically, I think one of my favorite parts was when Samuel Jackson comes up on that final fight scene, and it's a big prelude to it.
Yeah.
And it's really a reference throughout the whole movie. You really do see it coming, but I think that when it's between Kong and Samuel Jackson and that whole...
That was almost better than the Kong versus lizard fight. That was fantastic.
Correct. I think they missed an opportunity there to perhaps end it there. I think that's the better ending. That's where it satisfies, and I think they did it justice.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that, but that would have probably resonated a lot more with me if it would have ended with man against monkey instead of monkey versus lizard.
The rumor out there is that they're really just bringing back Kong, and so that way he can fight. They can do a coerced effort movie with Godzilla and Kong. So I think that would have been a much better lead-in. At least you have a common enemy in this skull thing, whatever.
Oh, God help me if there's a sequel. Oh, man.
It's
Look out, world. 1 year down the line, we're going to be reviewing Kong versus Godzilla. Batman versus Superman on steroids. Hollow. Fun to watch.
But in that moment, I think that's really where the movie... Past that, it kind of loses it for me.
Yeah, past that, it's popcorn action. Cool to watch, but
really without any feeling or substance to it.
A monkey whacking a lizard with a propeller is what it amounts to.
Yeah, and that was such a weird ending. I mean, for the rest of the movie, I feel like, and you touched upon this earlier, the rest of the deaths were actually some of the best I've seen in a while. Like,
they were cool monster deaths, for sure.
And again, it's really self-recognizing in that they know that they're kind of corny deaths, but I think that they owned it. That they really were able to move forward with that material and be like, boom, dead, boom, dead.
I mean, in one sense, they did own it, but in another sense, I think that they still tried to make it resonate like with that soldier character who is always writing to his son in the movie, the whole Dear Billy thing. They had like this whole sequence where all of the soldiers came through and like paid a little tribute to the soldier, and that wasn't. That was like supposed to be serious, but I was so bored. I was like, what is this? Because I didn't care about the character at all.
Yeah, you know? but Gary, were you surprised at any of the deaths in there? Like, was there ever like a character that you were like, are you like you were actually visually shocked, and you're like, they had the to kill?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect like half the cast to die in like the first 20 minutes, and then. The one that shook me was when that giant spider with the bamboo legs like drove its leg into the dude's mouth. He was like, getting all stabbed through. And then after that, it was deaths left and right. There were a few here or there that rung true, but like...
You know which one surprised me was the John Goodman one?
I was happy when... I was like, get him off the screen.
Why were you happy there, Gary?
John Goodman put in... maybe this is the satire side of it, but that was one of the weirdest, not good weird, bad weird performances I've ever seen.
It touched you wrong.
Yes.
Touched you in a really bad place.
In a terrible place. His performance touched me. Places I never want to be touched.
By John Goodman. Lay on the truth couch for me, Gary, and talk to me about it.
You know, John Goodman made me feel strange. His lines and the way he delivered them was insincere, and...
I see.
You know, if you're going to cast John Goodman, it's got to be a John Goodman role. This was not a John Goodman role. This could have been filled in by Christoph Waltz. Very different than John Goodman.
I love Christoph Waltz.
He's amazing. And he's obviously he's a different actor, but just a weird choice for that character. This loudmouth scientist that they try to make him, I didn't like it at all. And so when he got eaten by the lizard, I was incredibly overjoyed.
Okay, Gary, so we both kind of agreed that it was a hit and miss with the cast. I'll tell you, as much as you hated John Goodman, I love John C. Reilly.
Yes, I would say he equals it out. He's the good John.
John C. Reilly has some bad moments every once in a while, but actually, as a body of work, I really enjoy him. But in this film, he actually saves it. Yeah, I really found myself waiting until when's he coming back? And actually, he was the lone character. I would have been like, why did you kill him? He was the only one who I was like, why? If they kill him, I'm walking out.
Yes, you notice
he wasn't about him dying or not.
He wasn't even really a main character. The two main characters.
No, he showed up
He showed up like halfway through Act 2.
Third of the movie. Yeah. I don't even think it was the first half.
Right there, like the last third. Yeah, and he gets his own after credit sequence because. Like, from the third act on, it's like, we got to get John C. Reilly home. Like, I didn't care about the Tom Hiddleston or the Brie Larson. I didn't even know their names. But, I mean, his character was, one, he was hilarious, as he always is. Two, he was, like...
Appropriately hilarious. Like, I think that there were some moments
It didn't turn into a comedy, but it was funny.
You know the guy who pulled the pins and sacrificed himself? It was supposed to be this big dramatic moment.
Oh, God. That fell flat, too.
I don't think that was supposed to be funny, but that was hilarious.
We started laughing.
He's there, and I was, like, buying into it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of sad. Whacks him away. I laughed.
What was the point of that?
I'm there saying, in that last 2 seconds of him living, is he there like...
Maybe it was supposed to be funny. It did not. I mean, it seemed like it was just unintentionally funny to me. But
John C. Reilly, when he's going around saying... He's a good group of boys.
There's a good group of boys to die with.
You guys are crazy for coming here. We're all going to die.
He's
a good group of boys.
He's an underrated actor, for one, and he...
Oh, excellent actor.
He and Samuel L.
His work in
carry this film.
Oh, Samuel Jackson. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
You know what? How you said this is not a John Goodman role. This was a Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes. This is a role, when you go out, this is Samuel L. Jackson as. He's always going to play the same guy, and he was great. He did his job.
Gary, serious question for you here. Is there any actor in Hollywood who can mail in a role like Samuel L. Jackson?
Like, just...
I think he's the best.
Role after role, come in and put in a memorable, fun-to-watch performance.
You know what you're getting with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
But even his bad movies, he's still
he's great.
He's good.
He's
infinitely
watchable, man.
Robert De Niro in a couple of other movies, like, that's... When he mails it in, it shows. It's awful. That's how you get Dirty Grandpa. I mean, that... But Samuel L. Jackson, even when he's bad, like sometimes he's like better than average. Like Django Unchained. I'm missing a lot of other ones. Unbreakable.
You got Pulp Fiction. I mean, he's great as Nick Fury. He's fantastic.
He's fantastic. And when he mails it in, there's not a big drop off, and I can really appreciate that, and I think that throughout the whole movie, all the actors and actresses really mailed it in. I mean, the biggest one of all, I think the biggest sinner here is Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, this would have been better with a different Hollywood Tom. I think Tom Hardy would have nailed this role. This is
even
not
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Let's get real.
Get Tom Cruise. Get Tommy Lee Jones. Just not Tom Hiddleston. I mean, he's a suave. I mean, he was great as Loki, but he's not an ex-British Special Forces adventurer. And his character, it's also, you got to attribute it to the fact that the writing for his character was lame, but he just wasn't a good fit, I didn't think at all.
I think he needed an inhaler most of the movie, because he was mostly going...
sticking his arms out.
You don't want to do this. Please, just let me take them to the boat. We'll wait for you there. All right. We can't let them kill Kong. We can't let them kill Kong.
This is a spot on Tom Hiddleston. Holy cow, dude!
No, I mean, and he pulls it off in Avengers, and I don't know if that's just because.
We just watched Crimson Peak, and you got Tom Hiddleston playing a wealthy bachelor owner of a manor in Victoria era Britain. He's great.
He's also great in The Janitor. It's a television series.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's an action one. It's like akin to James Bond. Sneaky.
He'd be a great pick for James Bond, I think. But he's not a good...
In this role, I think it's so evident that he mailed it in that it stinks.
This was one of those things where they went out and just got a lot of headlining names like Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, yeah.
Recent Academy Award winner Brie Larson. John Goodman, come see our movie.
Tom Hiddleston was supposed to headline this, and he's billed as the top person.
He and Brie Larson, whose characters are just forgettable.
Well, I'll give you that. I'll tell you what though, Brie Larson, I felt was done an injustice in this script. I felt like the storyline was weak, and that made her weak.
Exactly.
I think actually there was a couple moments where I was like, oh wow, she's not bad. Like when she has that moment among Kong, I think that even with Peter Jackson's last movie with Kong, there were just so many unforgettable moments, and the diva, the person that's supposed to be the fallen maiden in the film, just really is forgettable. In this one, I thought she was able to do the best she could with what she had. I when she's there touching Kong, I thought it was actually a human moment. I thought Tom Hiddleston shouldn't have been there. Yeah. I didn't buy him being there. I didn't understand why he was there. Yeah. He felt like he didn't understand he was there. Even the monkey looked like he was like, I'm interested in this girl touching my nose. I don't understand why you're here. But I think that when she like cried there, it was just like, okay, there we go. She didn't let me down. I think the script let us down.
You can't knock any of these people's acting chops. But
on their own, in good movies where they're deemed to like a drama, I think they're all great actors.
The script is just an underwritten, rushed out script. I think that they wanted to produce a new Kong movie, so they threw out a script and they got a great visual effects budget, and they said, "Go for it."
Is that whose fault is that? I think it's finally time that we ask the question of how many reboots is too many reboots. Now, this is not the first Kong, and even when it first came out, I'm like, another one? Because the general rule of thumb used to be you at least give it, until most of the actors are too old for their part from the original movie, that somebody in there died so that way they can't remake the original one. Yeah. But now even, I just read an article the other day that they're looking to reboot The Matrix.
Yeah, and you know what? Keanu Reeves looks exactly the same. So if you could just recast him...
ageless wonders.
Yeah, he's ageless, but I mean... The Matrix is what? Like, the first one came out 20 years ago? Late, like 1998, I think? 19 years?
And even, I think you're justifiable in Mad Max. I think you're justifiable in Blade Runner. I think you're justifiable in a lot of these reboots. But I think you have to know the source material. And I know that it's an issue in Hollywood that the reason why they keep doing these is because there's money. Of course it's money, but digging a little deeper, there's an in-store credit that everybody has. It has brand recognition, and so therefore they know it works. And even though it's not artistic quality, they can keep coming out with Fast and the Furious 8. They can keep coming out with Kong versus Godzilla.
They can remake every Disney movie live action. Mm-hmm. You know.
and now the quality on each one is up for debate. You can say that this is a great reboot, that you really enjoyed it, or that they did a fresh retake. I think what we're looking for in Hollywood to do, if they are going to continue this trend, which I don't see any stop, unfortunately. Nope. So that's, I think when we ask ourselves, is enough enough? I don't think it's not in our hands. Yeah, it's just it's the way of life now. Let's get through it now as best as we can. I think the way that we can now best utilize having reboots is going the route of Maleficent, where you take a well-known story.
That was great.
You add to it, or you do the prequel. That's
the thing is
a hidden tangent. You do something original with the content that's already been there, you without altering it.
You put new stories into a used universe, and you got to take it at a case-by-case basis. But you mentioned Mad Max.
Yes,
it's a sequel. It's a sequel made years later. Sometimes they're just doing remakes, or just straight reboots. There's no point to doing that. No. But if you're gonna do what Disney's doing with Star Wars, what they're doing with Mad Max, what they've been doing with these, like a Creed, you're taking
that got a lot of props because it was a refreshing take that melded the two as a good marriage where they paid homage to the original franchise. They're birthing in a new generation,
and you're giving potential for dozens of stories to be told in the universe that people love, instead of going and soiling on the original, which there's no point in doing that. Right. Except for, we're going to make a ton of money.
If they make another Rocky movie and they're just going back to like before Rocky was Rocky, or I don't know what you do. I just really feel that that's a tired line that does not, even though it may be money, at some point you're milking that cow till it's bone dry.
And people's reactions, at least online, people are kind of noticing and they're kind of tired of it. They're like, give us some new content. Like, we know these stories,
I will say, to go back to just what brought us into this, for the Matrix specifically the Matrix, just because I haven't talked about this. I think that alone, that's an all right reboot, because really past the first one, it was just you're seeing it because it's the Matrix, but the stories were. I mean, the second one was just awful. Then the third one was highly religious, which I'm fine with. It was just. They didn't connect to each other. You had to get hidden material to even make sense of it, and even then it still didn't make sense. So if they're going to make it a more clarified storyline, I'm okay with that.
If they're going to set it in the universe, give us new characters and expand on the story, that's great.
Sure.
They're also, who they're eyeing for the lead role is Michael B. Jordan from Creed.
He's killing it, man.
He's great. I mean, he's like the reboot king right now. Shoot, he's in talks for Boba Fett. He's Creed, and now he might be the Matrix. Like, cool, good for him, but...
Was Boba Fett ever specifically annotated on what gender, race he is? Or, not gender, I'm sorry, obviously.
What race?
Yeah. I mean, I guess...
Well, his dad, Django, is a clone. And then, but he went off and had a son who's not a clone.
Right.
So he's the son of a clone and a human.
Right.
There's lots of, there's so much more.
You don't have to stay strictly to it.
Yeah, Disney, I mean, they didn't use any of the expanded universe, which I totally respect. I still think that they're doing great. But they're probably not going to use any of the Boba Fett lore. Because Boba Fett, he's such an icon, but, he's in the movies. He dies so quick. He's a total lame character,
Right.
But I'd love to see him get, a really cool, badass movie. That would be great.
Right. And... I think that I can appreciate it when they can mix and match and break those roles that are generally given to one specified group of people. I like it when they can make a variation of it.
There's no reason why Boba Fett can't be played by Michael B. Jordan.
No.
He's almost like a fresh slate, completely new character. You can do
That's why I was just making sure. I mean, there really is no reason why he can't be, but I was just asking.
Some people get all riled up about that kind of stuff, but it's a movie, it's a new universe, who cares,
I think people care when it's in the reverse, and when it's a bad movie like The Great Wall, and they're like, why is a white guy saving China something? I actually do have a give me 5 question later on, and that's part of the trivia. They're involved.
Matt Damon is actually my all-time favorite actor, but
what?
What? Yeah.
That's a podcast in and of itself.
I want to know what happened, because he's got a really vocal history of being very stand up for social issues.
Yeah.
And so when he came out, I'm like, how much money is this production company paying you? because this there's got to be some kind of behind the scenes thing, and everyone's like, oh no, well the story calls for a white guy to come save China, so he's not taking an Asian actor. Well, that story shouldn't have been written.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just insensitive.
There needs to be a special position for these movie studios.
Yeah.
Just somebody outside of the studio. Have the studio be by itself, and then just some guy like you, me, Gary, somebody outside. I'll take the job. But somebody outside who's just known as the CS guy, the common sense guy.
Yeah, no,
you just go to him. You just go to him, and once a movie's viable, and it's like, okay, took all the things, we're just going to make sure, hey, we're going to cast Adam Sandler as a baby who gets lost on Mars. Does that sound like a good movie choice?
CS guy?
No, that doesn't.
No, it sounds terrible.
That sounds awful.
Let's cast Matt Damon as the savior of feudal China.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
So, talking about bad movies, I think we can both wrap this up in saying that this was nowhere near our last movie where we both loved it, Logan.
Yeah.
I think that had much more
better action,
better movie, better
and it was all about characters too. It was all about characters.
A lot of character development. And this one, it sputtered on that a little bit. So I guess all there is left to say is what is your Boucher Bar rating? What, on a scale of 1 to 100, what would you give it?
I would give it a 55 out of 100. It's barely above average.
That low, huh? Wow.
This is different than a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, I guess. I'm not saying it's rotten, but I'm just saying it's almost good. It's slightly above average. It's watchable. You might have fun. If you want to put it on at home or something, I wouldn't suggest going to a theater and spending money to see it. You can spend your money on better movies.
No.
It's a summer blockbuster that's released in spring. That's all it is. And it kind of gets lost in the mix of the high volume action movies that come out nowadays. So I'd just say 55.
55, that's pretty harsh, man. I was thinking I was pretty bad, but I'm at 64. So I mean, 64. I guess it's cutting the cheese a little thin, but I have it at 64. I think I'm kind of along the lines of in a standard educational thing where below 50 you're failing and above it's like at least
So you gave it like a D.
I never want to see it again. I'm never gonna be like Kong Skull Island. Yeah.
It's on TBS, guys. Let's sit down and turn it on.
Forget going to the casino tonight. I'm gonna
watch Kong Skull Island.
I'm gonna watch Kong Skull Island. I'm out. Baby, I can't go out on the date tonight. Kong Skull
is it our anniversary? Babe, I'm so sorry, but Kong Skull Island.
But I did think visually it helped save it. John C. Reilly has a better than average performance.
Who would have ever predicted John C. Reilly will save the Kong movie?
I thought that he was going to be just a throwaway guy, to be honest with you.
And he was like,
and then
arguably the best character. You know?
Turned out to be the guy with the grenades was the throwaway guy. All right, we're going to take a quick musical break, and we'll come back to Give Me 5. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. This is my favorite section of the show. Give Me 5. Gary, are you ready?
I'm more ready than you are.
I doubt that. I've got an Oscar award-winning Give Me 5.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
Let's
all right.
hear it.
I'll go first. Gary, I was reading Flickster reviews recently, and I was surprised at the stark contrast between reviews of the critics and the general public. I'm going to give you two numbers that are reversed numbers, such as 19 or 91, and I want you to tell me which number is the correct review percentage the general public gave the following 5 films. And this is a game...
So it's the public, not the critics.
Correct. This is the public. Okay. All right, we have Maddie here. Hi, Maddie. How you doing?
Hello,
It's my boo thing.
Come on over, Maddie. Come a little closer to the mic. And you each get a guess here, so you guys don't have to be lockstep in sync.
Got it.
And winner gets the pants. All right. Oh my gosh, and I will keep score here. MB. All right, we guys ready?
Let's do it.
You understand the game, Maddie? You understand the game, Gary?
Yes.
Ready.
Let's go. The Great Wall. Did it get a 25% or 52%? Maddie, ladies first.
25%.
52.
Gary takes the early lead at 52%.
Disappointing.
Taking those pants.
I thought that was the worst thing ever. All right, next movie. A Dog's Purpose. Did that get 67% or 76%? Maddie.
67.
I'm not trying to like spite you, but I'm gonna say 76.
He is whooping. Oh my goodness, 76% is the correct answer. All right, here we go. Next one. Fences. 78 or 87? You know what, Gary? We'll start with you first. We'll give Maddie a chance.
78.
I'll go 87.
Oh my goodness. So far it's a clean sweep. Boucher's 3 for 3.
Audience always there's always a contrast between audience and critics.
That was the one that was like,
yeah.
Wow, that's really
it hurts my heart.
All right, here we go. We're going a little bit more old school.
All right.
Gary, we're going to start with you. The BFG, 58% or 85%? This one was hard for me. 58% or 85%. This is way on the end of the spectrum now.
I keep on double-crossing myself in my head. I'm going to go with 85. I like the BFG.
Maddie. 58%, 85%. Big Friendly Giant.
Come on, baby.
Roald Dahl. Steven Spielberg.
I'll go 85% also.
And both wrong.
58%? Audiences didn't dislike it.
I opposed you.
Gary, no perfect game for you, but we're still playing for honor, Maddie. We're still playing. All right, last one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. So this is the sequel, not the illustrious first one.
I bet you people loved it.
48% or 84%. Gary.
84%.
Maddie, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I'll go 84.
It got a 48%.
Oh,
so
good.
Wow, good.
Yay,
that's one you're happy to
Faith
be
in
wrong,
America
right?
restored.
Boucher wins.
Okay.
All right.
Boucher wins. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maddie.
And take my pants
Feel free
back.
to chime in on some of these, actually, though. All right, go ahead, Gary. Your turn.
All right, Phil. Let's see how well you know your horror history. Recent horror history. Okay. This 2007 film had an $11,000 budget, very modest, and earned almost $200 million at the box office, sparking a series that encompasses 6 films that have earned almost $1 billion.
Is this where I guess it?
Yes.
Saw.
Go to you, Maddie.
Parent Trap?
What is Paranormal Activity?
Paranormal Activity!
Oh!
It is one of the biggest statistical returns on a film ever. $11,000 budget, which is like a film school budget, and then $200 million. So hats off to those guys for being so inventive.
Yeah, the production.
They're set for life after setting up a freaking camera in their closet and putting powdered sugar on the floor and screaming. That's
and a couple pans dropping. Don't forget.
Yes,
the pans.
don't forget that. That was terrifying.
You have any more?
Back to you, sir.
Back to me. All right. Gary, Arian Foster, the recently retired running back who played for the Miami Dolphins as well as the Texans, went on a Twitter thought recently, and I say thought very specifically.
I know this.
Yes. Musing publicly that he could beat a wolf. One-on-one. Tweeting such things as, quote, I'm 230. Wolves are what? 180, 200 tops? He has no thumbs. If I control his neck, he's donezo. Thumbs mean I can grab him. He can't grab me. All he has is a mouth. Grab his neck, he can't bite. And plus, I have the advantage of thinking about this wolf, rather. Like, I'm prepared. If we run into each other in my head, oh yeah, it's on, wolf. He's just like, what is this aggressive species threatening me? Simple question here, Gare Bear. Do you think Arian Foster could beat a wolf? And, follow-up question, what are your chances of actually winning against a wolf? Maddie, you can chime in on this too. I want to hear your percentage after this.
All right, well, Arian Foster,
one-on-one.
Hats off to you, my man. But I'm gonna go with the hard science on this one. He was actually tweeted at by some Wolf Association of America, and they were pulling out all these facts. Arian, I think that you put up a great fight. I think you'd probably seriously injure that wolf with your strength, speed, and athleticism, but Wolf's jaw muscles and leg muscles are just too much, and he'd be overtaken in the fight. What are my chances of winning against a wolf? Negative 3,000%. I'm an avid watcher.
Oh, give yourself. There's always a chance.
Well, I guess I'm an avid watcher of Game of Thrones. Some of those dudes that get their big broadswords, they're chopping wolves' heads off. So maybe if I got a magical broadsword, I might stand a chance.
Maddie, your answer, or you pleading the fifth on this?
Yes, I'll plead the fifth.
Oh, fantastic. I love a good...
She okay, you know, I know her better than anybody. She could beat a wolf in a fight.
Oh, she could beat a wolf?
She would scare the wolf away.
So you give her 25%?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So you're saying there's a chance with Maddie.
Slight chance. Well, thank you. I appreciate
That's love.
your faith in my survival.
That's love, folks.
If we ever come across a wolf in the barren forest of North America, you better be with
forward.
I see the strategy here. All right, here we go. Tagging you on, Gary.
So, Best Supporting Actor winner this year, Mahershala Ali, surpassed 2 milestones that have never happened before for an Oscar winner. Can you name one or both of them? Big history at the Oscars this year for LGBTQ film, black film, but this is a little on the side. Didn't get a lot of attention, but I think that you might have an idea.
Yes. Gary, I'm going to have to say that one of the records she broke was she beat Whoopi Goldberg.
Mahershala Ali from Moonlight.
Oh,
yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought for some reason I was thinking of...
All right, you got to
yes. Okay.
You got to reboot the brain.
Actually, yes, I do know one of them. Actually, I do.
Okay.
He is the first Division I college basketball player to ever win an Academy Award.
Yes, I knew that you would know that fact. Yes. He played on like Southern not Southern California, but some like small California school.
Right.
He actually was. I looked up his stats. Not a bad Division I point guard.
We
should get him on the show.
We should guy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. We should ball out with him sometime.
I'll send him a tweet.
Yes, do it. Please do.
I'll have my guy contact his guys.
Do you know Madison, the second fact?
Yes, I do. He was the first Muslim.
Yes.
Academy Award.
First Muslim to ever win an Academy Award. Big year for black people, LGBTQ people, Muslim people, and former Division I basketball players turned actors. So if you're part of that very small demographic, congratulations.
Gary teed me up perfectly because, as you know, Thursday marks the beginning of the NCAA March Madness.
Yes, sir.
The men's tournament consists of 68 teams and a massive bracket breakdown that determines college basketball's champion. Gary, brackets are being constructed all across the country, dare I say the world? And the odds of filling out a perfect March Madness bracket, experts estimate, is as low as 1 in... I can't even say this number. This is like 9 quadrillion. Some odd number.
It's only 60. Wow.
Yeah. My question to you is, would you like to place a wager between us on who has a better bracket once it's all said and done?
You know what? I like to live life on the edge. You're only here for so long. Let's go for it. Let's put something down.
Yeah! All right, here's what I wrote down, and tell me if you're on this. Loser gives their phone to the winner, and then the winner may then post one picture and one post, and the loser has to keep that post and picture up for a minimum of 24 hours.
All right. You know what? You want to shake on it?
Let's shake on it right now.
It's sealed.
It's signed, sealed,
Studio
delivered.
audience.
Maddie's yours. And...
That's good.
Thank you. I came up with that on the fly. I did not write that down whatsoever. And for anybody who wants to know, I'll see Gary can post his bracket. I'll post mine. Sir. We'll put it under hashtag bracket challenge. And out of question, who do you have winning it all?
You got Kansas.
I'm gonna go Arizona. Even though I'm a Forkham, I'm an ASU Sun Devil. I'll stay in my roots of Arizona.
If Arizona wins, I'll have a special place in my heart for the state of Arizona winning something in sports besides tanking team of the year.
You know, as long as Gonzaga doesn't win it all, I think I'm good.
I'm with you there. I mean, I would love to see like Middle Tennessee State. So I actually have them winning the first 2 rounds.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
All right, back to you, Gare Bear.
Well, you know what's funny? You teed me up kind of perfectly because I want to quickly ask you another sports-related movie question.
Oh, excellent.
Give me, in no specific order, your top 3 sports movies of all time.
Oh, you know what? This is an excellent question because I was just thinking about this the other day. I've heard Hoosiers, I've heard Field of Dreams, all said, baloney. Throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Who needs them? But I love, as you know, I previously said this in a previous podcast on our Oscar special.
Yes.
Radio revolves around the football team, involves Cuba Gooding Jr. Gotta love that. Radio, probably my top sports movie. I could watch it at any time. Let's see. Past that, you know what's coming up are the movies that really aren't about the sport. I think the best sports movie have great stories that utilize the sport, and because of that, I think Creed has to now be up there.
Creed is excellent. It's already placed up in the pantheon of all-time great sports movies, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be a boxer or boxing aficionado to like that movie.
No, for sure.
It's about struggling more so than, it's that human struggle.
Yeah.
And then just to fill it out, Nacho Libre. Gotta go Nacho Libre. Also,
Dark Horse.
Also makes it into my top 3 Christmas films of all time. That's actually an Amerine Christmas tradition. We settle around the Christmas tree, watch
Nacho Libre,
and we watch Nacho Libre. The Cheeps.
I'm coming to your house for Christmas this year. Holy cow! You know what?
Got Pozole.
I got a Christmas tradition. Die Hard. So we'll combine. We'll go Die Hard and Nacho Libre this Christmas.
Fantastic! I love it. When the fantasy has ended, no, the children are gone. All right, is it my turn?
Yes. Go for it.
All right, Gary, my guilty obsession lies with all things corgis. I absolutely love corgis, and in spite of being allergic to animals, I love them from afar and hope to one day find the right mix of an allergy medicine cocktail that allows me to own one. I found on Twitter last year's Corgi race, and it was an event that took place in Canterbury Park, Minnesota, and only recently became viral. Quick question. What is your favorite animal, and what is the best animal name you can think of? Maddie, you look like you had something. Did you have one?
I think I know what it is, but you can...
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, how well do you know me? What's my favorite animal?
Ooh.
A bear.
A bear. She's right.
Oh.
I love bears. My name is Gary. My nickname is Gare Bear. And you know what? I'm going to go with low-key. One of my favorite animal names is Kenai because Brother Bear is an excellent Disney film, and Kenai is in my heart, like Phil Collins said.
I was thinking Bacon for a pet pig. I love that name.
That's heartbreaking.
That's beautiful, though.
I know, but
it's ironic.
As long as the pig's alive.
You call him Bacon.
I think if you're calling Bacon, come here, Bacon, sizzle, sizzle.
Have you seen that clip on the internet of the news anchor cracking up because there's a pig?
Bacon.
His name is Crispy Bacon, and the news anchor just can't hold it together. He had the greatest time of his life on there.
Yeah, no, I love that. Back to you, Gary.
All right, so now I have a little game called Marky Mark.
Ooh, excellent. Does Maddie know this? Can she play with me?
She knows this game.
Oh, fantastic.
Mark Wahlberg versus Mark Ruffalo. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 very famous historic male movie characters.
Okay.
And you're going to pick which Mark would you like, Mark Wahlberg or Mark Ruffalo, to play this film role.
Got it.
You ready?
Going to be excellent at this game. Go ahead, Gary.
Number 1, Luke Skywalker. Marky Mark.
Who I think would make a better version?
Yes, and why?
Let's go with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, so I could use some Wahlburgers on that Luke Skywalker.
I mean, A New Hope wouldn't have the whiny Luke. He would have the attitude Luke.
He would have the most jacked up lightsaber duels. Could you imagine him in you remember when he did that bodybuilder movie with The Rock a couple years ago? He can get pumped up. So if he's doing flips in the air with the force jumps and everything, and he's like, Luke, I am your father. Oh, heck no! Boom, boom. Just out-muscle him. I could see him actually beating Vader.
That's an interesting choice. I love it. All right.
Excellent.
Marky Mark, part 2. The Terminator. Mark.
So the actual Terminator, the Arnold Schwarzenegger role.
Yes.
Now it's going to...
Who would you put in as the Terminator? Marky Mark.
Yeah, I really want to say Mark Ruffalo, but I can't. I gotta go.
Wahlberg is a great fit for the Terminator.
Yeah, I think he could definitely do that emotionless muscle man.
Do you agree, Madison?
I agree.
Mark Wahlberg,
most definitely.
perfect.
I think it's a little under Mark Ruffalo.
Well, Mark Ruffalo plays the Hulk, but it doesn't require him to be utterly buff and on steroids or anything. So.
Mark Wahlberg probably has the greatest dad bod we've ever seen.
That's true.
He seems like he's already a dad.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, Don Corleone from The Godfather. Mark.
No, that's definitely Mark Ruffalo. He's finally on the board here.
Yes,
he's for one, he looks like he could be Italian. I don't know what nationality he is.
He kind of talks like it too. He's got mannerisms.
I could see him with that one squinty eye going "Why are you disrespecting me?" I could see him. I see it with him. That's an excellent casting choice by myself. What about you, Maddie? You agree?
I agree. I think he'd be I think he fits. Like you said, he looks and kind of feels really.
He could have that like tender yet sinister vibe that Marlon Brando had.
Don't choose sides against the family. Yeah, I got that.
All right, number 4. Mark E. Mark, Forrest Gump.
Oh, geez.
Mark E. Mark.
Geez, what a. Oh gosh.
Think of all the possibilities in your head. It can really go everywhere.
No, let's go Mark Ruffalo. I don't think he could do it with his curly hair, ironically.
Shave his head.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to pull Tom Hanks, of course. But I mean, I definitely could see him putting his own twist on it. And actually, that's a good comp. Yeah. That's a good comparison for him.
I'd be afraid if you have Mark Wahlberg in there that it becomes something.
You ever see Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
And how how Ben Stiller horrifically plays that.
That's exactly what it would be.
But it's a joke in that one.
Yes.
I'm afraid it wouldn't come across as a joke. I
think his mannerisms are too exaggerated, and he can't find that.
Hey.
That respectable zone.
My mama always said life is like a box of chocolates.
Oh God.
You never know what you're gonna get.
That's exactly why.
This Mark Wahlberg is Forrest Gump. No, it's not gonna work.
Not sincere enough.
Number 5, one of the most coveted characters.
We're going 2 for 2 here. This will break the tie.
Tiebreaker right here.
Yep.
See what you guys pick. Number 5, most coveted film role of any British actor ever. We're going to go American. James Bond.
Alright, actually, you want to do this on the count of 3, Maddie? Let's do it together? Do you have your decision?
Yes.
Alright, here we go. I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. Ruffalo. Ooh, I thought I was going to be the dark horse on that one.
Why Ruffalo?
I'll tell you my reason. I think he's too short.
You think Wahlberg is too short?
Yeah. I'm going to go heightest on this one. And hey, I'm dating a short girl right now. Her name's Ruby. I love her, and she's short. But for James Bond, you gotta be that tall glass of martini.
How tall is Mark? I feel like he's like 5'8".
Well,
he's taller than Wahlberg. Wahlberg's like 5'6".
Yeah,
he's a little guy.
I don't think that. Well, I mean, you're giving me 2 options here. I mean, I don't say Mark Ruffalo would be the perfect one, but out of the 2, I could see Mark Ruffalo pulling a surprise acting performance and
depressed Brooklynite James Bond.
Yeah, but that's what it is for me. Like the energy that Wahlberg would give, I think would be too much. I mean, he's supposed to be a secret agent, and I think he'd be almost too.
Stop messing with Britain.
In every
what the heck is this about? Don't even come into London. Come on.
He couldn't help himself. Be like, I'm just going to shoot you right here.
All you communists got to go back to Russia. Get out of here.
Yeah, I almost think it's a difference between James Bond and Triple X. I think Mark Wahlberg would be perfect for Triple X.
Oh yeah.
That's what James Bond is always a British guy.
Stars that you can do.
Yes.
And James Bond is more recluse, more drawn in, more cool, more suave.
Which goes with more Ruffalo than Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. All right. Did we do all 5?
Yes.
All right.
Marky Mark. Congratulations.
This one's for you, Gary. I looked up one specifically for you. I think you'll enjoy this. Dirk Nowitzki, the NBA power forward for the Dallas Mavericks,
yes, sir,
who recently joined the 30,000 points club, just sent out a photo of a potato that someone sent him with a picture of Dirk glued onto it. The tweet has over 38,000 retweets and 110,000 likes.
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, I know it. I'll show you the picture. I have a picture, but it's not going to do anything for our audience right now, but I'll show you afterwards and you'll enjoy it.
Use your creative mind.
Go ahead and look at it. It's fantastic. It's just him taking a jumper on the potato.
That's amazing. Because he is a potato.
If you could send one item, Gary, to anyone in the world and be assured that they would receive it and open it, who would you send it to? And what would the item be? Oh, gosh. Yeah.
You know what's funny? My first pick is actually really, really related. It's Steve Nash. I met him once, and I totally jacked up our first interaction. He's like my...
You actually met him?
Yeah, I actually did a commercial with him that you can go... If you go on YouTube and you look up... If you look up Toyota Canada practice run, we did a little Toyota commercial, and at the end of the commercial, he signs an autograph on my forehead, and I... It was amazing. He's who I model my game after. He is my absolute favorite person ever. So I guess I would want a redo with Nash. What would I send to Steve Nash?
Maybe a plate because he just keeps dishing them out. Or?
Oh my gosh, that's Let's have a moment of silent applause.
Everybody at home is either just rolling their eyes or
with more assist puns, but honestly, I think I'll pass. Maybe what I'd do is I'd go on a road trip to Canada and I would vlog it, and I would send him the vlog because he's actually into movie producing now. He produces indie documentaries.
Yeah, no, I remember when he was on the Lakers, he did.
He's really into film stuff, and so I'd be like,
that I'm doing it for money,
hey, Steve. Here's my Canada traveling documentary. You're from Canada. I love you. Let's collaborate.
So a little partnership opportunity, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess if you've got the eye on, you just got to get somebody to take notice and give you a chance. I mean, that's one half of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Take your chance. Take your shot.
I need a redo because Steve, I'm sorry if you're listening. Our first interaction, I was really awkward. I was in like 7th grade. I was kind of starstruck, but I promise, like, I'm really cool now. Like, I have a Star Wars tattoo.
Be honest.
Be honest.
You'll still geek out.
I'm still gonna. Steve. Yeah. I'm sorry already.
I'm embarrassed more for Maddie than for you.
Yeah, honestly, like,
if she has to be around you during that point in time.
I'll be taking pictures.
I go to straight like 12-year-old. Oh my God, Steve!
Look up the commercial, you'll see it.
Yeah, it's in my eyes. It's the truest acting performance I've ever had.
You're true to thine own self.
Yes, most honest performance.
All right, well that'll wrap it up for us, Gary. We had a little bit of a discussion last podcast about what we're going to be doing for the following podcast after this one. Do you want to cement it with me here on air?
Yeah. Did we want to do the Robin Williams tribute? Is that?
I think that's happening. I think that's a good one.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm thinking aloud here, so forgive me. This isn't fully planned out. What if we were to? Do you want to make almost like a 2-part special? Like we'll do the first half this week. We'll cover, let's say, 2 movies.
Okay.
And then the following week, we'll do another 2 movies. Because I think he has 4 movies that we just cannot
for standout Robin Williams roles?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I know. If maybe we can go aside separately. No, let's do this right here. Let's do a snake draft right here. Okay. We get to choose the movies each, and so we'll pick it right here.
So first, we got to do Good Will Hunting.
Okay, so that's what you're picking.
Yes.
You know what I'm picking?
What?
Mrs. Doubtfire. Between Mad Fisher King, because I've never seen it, and I know he was nominated for that one.
Yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam. That was a good.
He's great in Aladdin.
I don't know. You know what?
We could go with Dark Horse. We could go with RV.
I actually saw that in theaters.
I did too. Yeah.
It was just awful. But no. Okay. You know what? Let's
JoJo in that movie and Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah. As 11-year-olds.
Wow.
You know what? I'll leave my pickup to a Facebook poll.
Alrighty, so we got Good Will Hunting, we have Dead Poet Society.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was saying first 3.
The assured ones we have. Yes, correct. Go ahead.
Good Will Hunting.
Yep.
Dead Poet Society.
Of course.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Of course.
4th pick is Up to the Universe.
I will post, as soon as I post this up, I will do a following poll. Ask Facebook what they would most like to hear us talk about. My early season, I'm going to bet Aladdin. I bet Aladdin's going to take it. Everybody, I mean,
he sings. It's great.
No, are you kidding? Anybody will even know Mad Fisher King. Yeah. Unfortunately. I just happen to be a movie buff, and that's all I know. And then, what was the other one I said? Oh, Good Morning Vietnam. It was early work, so again, yes. I think it's one of the more known ones you'll know, but it's just offering a lot of sound clips. I don't think that he's recognized more for that.
No.
But then Aladdin, I think it's a more popular choice.
For sure.
But I may be surprised. Maybe I'm just a little
See
mad.
What the Facebook and Twitter burst say.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. Thanks for listening to Chopped Greens. Gary, why don't we give a shameless plug to your blog while we're here?
You know what, guys? I've been writing this blog for almost a year and a half. It's called Gare Bear Reviews. It's a WordPress. GARBEAR Reviews. And every movie I see, I review. We've been getting some great traffic. Shout out to all my subscribers. Woo woo! Come check it out. I'm reviewing all the time. The more subscribers I get, the more I review.
All right. Maybe we'll come in. We'll go to someone's house and me, and our girlfriends can come and watch the Robin Williams Fest.
That would be amazing.
Homemade popcorn.
Yes, please.
Homemade popcorn.
No, we do not buy movie concessions around here. It's $26 for 2 drinks, 2 popcorns. It's robbery. Bernie 2016.
Not in this house. All right. Thanks for listening to Chopped Greens. Stay tuned on SoundCloud for the rest of our shows. Have a great day.
Peace.